good afternoon, good evening, or good morning, depending where you're tuning in. Thanks for all of those who've started following the series. We're up to episode number 3 now, and got a few more views than I was expecting to get. So thanks for all of you who've tuned in and started watching. Surprised to see a few of you from the US and India. So g'day from Australia. Just quickly, I got a bit crook this week, so got some of the man flu, which has set me back a fair bit. So I really haven't spent much time on the scooter this week, but I'll fill you in on a couple of little updates anyway, because I promised to do a weekly update. So you'll notice the front wheel's off at the moment. I actually pulled that off because considering changing the wheels over to a different wheel, so we've got the spare one sitting there, which this is the axle for it. So really simple to pull off. It's I can't remember, I think it was a 14 mil on one end and maybe 17 or 19 on the other, and then it comes off with the disc still attached to the wheel, and on one side you have the speedo connection, and the other side you just have a little spacer that goes in there as well. So that's come off. So this is the speedo that attaches onto the wheel and the fork down here, and actually gives you your reading up to your speedometer. So, and we've got the brake caliper just hanging loose at the moment. I'm just leaving that like that for the time being, because I actually, when I first started working on the bike, had 0 brakes at all on the front, and the reservoir was actually out of fluid completely. So I've put the wrong type of fluid in at the moment. I put a .4 fluid in it instead of a .3 fluid. But just touch on this, to get these little screws out here, they were actually really seized up. I was put some DD50 on them, let them sit for a while. That didn't seem to do anything, so I ended up using an impact screwdriver on them, giving them a few good whacks with a hammer, and that broke them loose, and then we're able to get in there. Put the .4 fluid in there, and then gave it a quick little bleed just by squeezing the trigger, which got most of the air bubbles out, just little squeezes like that, and you can then see the air bubbles that will pop up through the reservoir. Once that's done, you can see now I've actually got decent brake pressure, but I'm going to end up bleeding out that fluid again, putting the proper fluid back in there. There's not a lot of difference between the two fluids. The .4 has a higher heat rating. It's not really a concern on a scooter like this, but the .3 actually has a better resistance to getting water in the fluid, so I figure that's probably a better option to go with. And whilst the caliper's dangling down there and we do that, I'll probably end up repainting the caliper a different colour, might strip it down, not sure yet, and change those brake pads over just because we're there. We might as well put new stuff in it. Then the forks themselves, when I was having a look at those, I've got a couple of little split boots there, same on the other side as well. So I'm not sure whether I'll replace the whole shock, because it's probably cheaper to replace the whole lot, and I haven't quite worked out how that comes loose yet. I've loosened the 2 bolts up here, but it looks like it doesn't quite want to drop out, so I might need to just widen the gap that's holding that on, or it might need to remove that Allen ball on top. I'm not quite sure. I'll figure that out when I go to actually swap the shocks over, if that's what I decide to do. So what else has happened? It's still running, which is good. So it starts first click every time. Then I've got the headlights around here. This was the one that originally came on the bike, and you can see someone broke the blinker off of that side and this side at different times, and they've done a home repair job with a bit of plywood there and some glue on this side, but it looks a bit smacked up. So a little while ago I actually bought a brand new replacement one, which was this red colour, and I've just finished sanding the majority of the paint off That was with the 240 grit wet sandpaper, and just did it with some bit of warm water because the weather's cold here, and some soapy water, and got 90% of the paint off of that now. I've got little edges and stuff like that to finish off, little bits like that, which I'll get to during the week. The headlight that goes in it just sits in from behind there like that as well, and your mirrors coming out that hole, and that's the brake reservoir. Down the bottom here and here is where the two indicators go, and on indicators, while we're talking about those, I've actually got some different new indicators, and I'll just quickly plug this one in to have a look at and see if it'll light up. So LED ones, so I'll need to put a resistor in there for those, but they look a fair bit smarter and nicer as well than the original plastic ones that are all broken. Probably got one more thing I can quickly show you on the bike as well, and I'm hoping the viewers, you guys, will be able to help me actually decide on something, because I've got a pretty big decision coming up on it to decide what colour we end up painting the bike, and I've got a few ideas in mind, but the main bit is going to be it will need to match with the seat that I've had retrimmed. So you can see this seat here, it's pretty common on these Syms in the heat. The vinyl just rips apart, so I've got another seat sitting in the shed which I'll go and grab now, and we'll show you and put it on, and then maybe you can help me decide on the colours. So that's the original colour down here, this silver colour with another broken indicator sitting there. So originally when I got the seat retrimmed, I was thinking I'd probably just keep it that colour, but now that I've gone this far and ripping it all apart, I'm thinking we may as well do something different. So I'll just grab this seat and I'll head back over to the bike, and I'll plonk it on and get you to have a quick look at it, tell me what you think, and give me some ideas on colours. So excuse me while I just chuck it on, and I'll get the camera back in focus. So voila, there's the new seat. Looks a bit different, looks a bit newer. You can see it's custom, totally custom. Got diamond stitching, which is a silver stitch all around it, re-padded, so it's got, there you can see a good amount of padding in the seat as well. It's in a, I'll call it a light brown, tan sort of coloured leather. It's done by a local company here called Quality Motor Trimming. It actually cost me more than what I paid for the bike, but it's such a key piece of the bike and takes up so much space that I think it's worth spending the money on to make it unique and look different. So as for colours, I'll try and put something up on the screen, but there's three that I'm currently considering for all the bodywork, which is going a Nardo grey, which is an Audi colour, non-metallic, so nice and easy to paint, and I think will go nicely with that seat colour, will go nicely with the red springs, red caliper, etc. Another option I've got is a colour called Mojo Rainbow, which kind of looks like a real pearly white colour, and depending which angle you look at it, will show up in different colours of the rainbow spectrum. Either that or just a pearl white itself. Again, I think it'll go nicely with the tan coloured seat. I think it'll go well with red or any other colour that I choose to do some highlights in. Or thirdly, so is a sort of a coral blue colour, or a Tiffany, I guess bluey turquoisey kind of colour. Again, totally change the look of the whole bike. If I do that, I'll probably end up doing some different bits and pieces with purple and white highlights. So you might change the spring to a white spring, change the brakes to a purple coloured brake, change the grips to purple or white or something like that, or tan to match the seat. And then the very last option would just be a simple sort of pearl white colour as well. So really keen to get your feedback, guys, on colours and what you think will look best on this bike. If you want to just chuck a comment in of what you think, that'd be muchly appreciated. And muchly, what a terrible choice of words, that'd be greatly appreciated. And also, if you want to jump in and subscribe, I'd love to have some more subscribers on board as well, and keep following the series. Thanks, guys. Hopefully I'll have some more updates for you next week, where we'll focus on getting stuck into the bike a bit more now that I seem to be recovering from the man flu. Thanks. See you soon.